So today we are in Geneva Motor Show with the 508, the new one, which is a coupe. Some of them expected it to be a sedan, but you kind of all blew us out. You know what did happen?
Well, we decided to change our strategy. At the beginning, well, the current 508, let's say, is a classical sedan with a three-box classical car, quite long, 4 meters and 80 centimeters. And we said, okay, we have to change our strategy because the segment is changing. And we met some people, some customers, and they said, if you want to remain in this very important segment as a flagship for the brand, you have to change the design of the car. Because what we want as customers of this segment, we want something more dynamic, more sporty. And if you look at the market, the premium brands, all the brands that are at the top of the segment are with very dynamic cars. So we changed. We moved from something very classical to something very sporty, dynamic. To give you some figures, this car is 4 meters and 75 centimeters long. It is also 5 centimeters lower than the current 508, and it is wider. So with this, you have a very good, what the designers call a package, that allows us to create a very attractive, very sporty design. And you also have what we call the frameless doors, which is inspired by the coupe and allows us to have a lower car. So that's the strategy, I would say.
It did not seem as a logic step from the popularity of 3008 and then 5008. But, everybody is expecting SUV popularity is on the rise. Why go to the coupe segment?
Well, because we think that there is not only SUV in life. There are many people, customers, that want something else than a coupe SUV. Of course, the SUV segment is growing, it's very important, and we have a very good, and we are successful with our current 3008 or 5008. But at the same time, there are many people that say, okay, I would like something different, something attractive, something I fall in love at the first sight. And this was the choice for this car, and to be inspired by the coupe, because if you see the proportions on the space you have in the second row, you are not in a coupe, you are in a real car, a real, would say, sedan, but inspired by the design of a coupe. That's so. At the same time, also this car, very important, is very efficient. As you know, the CO2 emissions, level emissions are very important for all of us and for our customers. With this kind of car, being lower, being lower and being 70 kilos less than the current 508, you have something very efficient. And the consumption of the car will be very low. And this is very interesting for many customers, especially the B2B customers. Because many B2B customers buy this kind of car.
This is actually a great talking point, because today J2 Dynamics announced that first time in 10 years the CO2 emissions in European cities has grown. Yes. Before it was always declining, now it has grown. And this is something that comes with the popularity of the SUVs as well, because they're not so efficient.
You have two points. The first you mentioned, which is SUVs, and also that many people are switching from diesel to gasoline, to petrol engines. And when you switch to a diesel to a petrol, you have a higher level of consumption. And that's why in this car, in 2019, we will launch a PHEV version, plug-in hybrid version, with 50 kilometers of zero emission, and also 225 horsepower. So, and of course, consumption, I would say, around 3 liters. So this is very low, So with this car, thanks to its weight, thanks to its efficiency, aerodynamics, you combine with a good PHEV, you will have a very good proposal in terms of consumption, and at the end, in terms of what we call total cost ownership, which is the cost for the customers and for the companies to own a car and to pay every month for a car.
It probably helps as well that the popularity of the GT line and the GT models of all the segment cars is growing, So this is something that you also depend when you look, should we go a bit more sporty or not?
Well, our strategy is obviously to what we call to move up market, And to do so, we have created what you say GT line and GT versions, which are, let's say, with premium codes, but with a more affordable pricing, you know. So the customer can choose a very attractive design such as this car with a GT version, and he will have, obviously, all the benefits of something very high-end, but at the same time, he will only pay, I would say, only, perhaps 10% less than for a very premium brand. So our positioning is exactly this, to propose to our customers to move up market, but not with incredible prices that nobody can pay, just with the good pricing compared to the quality of the vehicle.
It's also the positioning in the family itself, right? Because now it's becoming clear that, you know, especially with 508, it is a bit of a luxury car, where Citroën is being funky and fresh for the youngsters, and Opel is just being a German version of them too.
Yes, it's you're right. The GT line and the GT version gives the positioning of the brand, which is to move up market and to propose something quite high-end, quite luxury, as you said. At the same time, the positioning of the other brands of the group, yes, of course, have a different positioning, and it is our day-to-day work to combine different positioning with the same technologies, because we share, of course, the technologies.
All right, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.